like to present Not Seen Before.
I think you want everybody to smoke weed.
Hey, this is Royce Gracie, and you're listening to the Inside BJJ podcast.
It was a shroom trip. That's racist.
I'm not a racist.
That's racist.
I'm not a racist.
This is Kurt Oceaner. This is Inside BJJ podcast.
God damn it!
Jiu-Jitsu sucks.
God damn it!
I think you want everybody to smoke weed.
Wow, Mr. Sarcasm.
This is Nacho Laranja, and you're listening to the Inside BJJ podcast.
Welcome to the world infamous Inside BJJ podcast. I'd like to thank you and remind you to give us a subscribe and a listen on iTunes, Spotify, whatever the goddamn chosen platform is now, because it changes all the time. Make sure you hit us up on that. And I promise you, if you leave me a really mean negative review, I swear I'll read it online. They're my absolute favorite reviews to read. All right, here we go. Obviously, the world is a really crazy place right now, and it's been that way for the last 5 weeks. I would like to welcome to the show one of our good friends of the show, and he's coming back again, and I'm stoked because despite how crazy the world is, this man is going to grapple for my entertainment, and I'm super happy about that. We like to welcome the one and only Tom Gallicchio to the Inside BJJ podcast. What's good, brother?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me. I'm not going to grapple for your entertainment yet. Everybody's signing up for that submission underground, so it's hard to get on.
Yeah.
Only show in town.
Pardon me?
I said it's the only show in town.
It's fucking crazy, right? It's the last one that they had, it was really interesting to watch, just, the format, but I realized watching it, like, man, I really miss watching grappling and fights, to be honest with you. I miss all of it on TV. I'm just stuck going back and watching shit from the past, man. I want to watch some new stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got the UFC this weekend. That's going to be great.
Yeah, man, I think that'll be dope. We got Tony finally getting his shot. I feel like Tony is the unluckiest fighter in the history of fights, right? This is a guy that every time he gets right up to get the championship fight, he's wearing sunglasses inside and he messes up his leg, or something happens, or a virus from China comes in and wipes everything out. It's like, how does this guy stay positive? He's got to be really hungry. How do you think that fight goes down against Justin Gaethje?
I think Tony takes it. He's just been unstoppable lately. And we got to see him versus Khabib. So I like Gaethje, but I still want that matchup, Tony and Khabib. If Gaethje wins, then we don't have that.
Yeah, no, right, and it's kind of a risk for Tony to go through that, but at the same time, Tony's a fighter, dude, right? Tony wants to get out there. He wants to fight, and he's not going to be denied. I think he's going to fight anyone they put in front of him. But it's certainly a risk, man. As a fighter, do you take that shot just because no one's fucking fighting, right? I mean, all eyes are going to be on you at least, I guess.
Well, Frankie Edgar did it with Brian Ortega, and you saw what happened to him.
Yeah.
He was on a good hot streak, too, and after he lost to Ortega, everybody just started saying, "Oh, he's washed up. He's washed up."
Yeah, that's true. It's a huge risk, man. But
yeah, it really is. Oh, you got to weigh it out, but these guys got to get paid too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think also there is a certain amount of publicity factor that you're gonna get as long as you don't have a terrible performance, just because there's no fights. You're literally gonna be like the first fight in a long time, and a lot of people are gonna tune into that fight. So you kind of can cash in on that, I think, if you play it right.
Oh, big time. I mean, there's the submission underground's getting crazy views because it's the only live sport. There's no hockey, there's no football. the UFC is probably going to have record numbers and not have Conor McGregor on the card.
Right, I know, right? Connor's probably pissed. He's like, wait a minute.
I think the Fight Island's in Ireland.
Yeah, right. So, hey, Tom, what's the word, man? So are you trying to get on the SUG card? You want to get out there and grapple? You looking for fights? What's going on? What's your status?
Well, I always look for a fight if the price is right, but I kind of step back. I'm more coaching these days. I took over the jiu-jitsu program at Team Quest. Me and Joe Stevenson run it.
Nice.
I do the adults, and he does the kids, and he does some adult classes. But, yeah, been doing that. Been doing combat jiu-jitsu in between, which is fantastic. But it's, it's not the same. And I've been doing a lot of grappling tournaments, just signing up and doing them. And I feel like I'm chasing a dragon from fighting.
Yeah, I imagine going from a real MMA fight to a grappling match or even a combat jiu-jitsu style match. I would think the adrenaline level and just all of it is kind of down a notch, right? It would seem like it would be a little bit of a step down in terms of the excitement or the rush that you're getting out of it.
It's also a different sport, so something I want to point out and like to talk about is how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu changed over the years. Back in the day when Royce Gracie first introduced it, it was all about self-defense and covering the distance and getting the guy down and submitting him. And then when it started to evolve, you had to put in the wrestling because you could get punched in the face. And I feel like a lot of the sport jiu-jitsu stuff wouldn't be as effective in a real fight. You put yourself in some bad positions, but you're able to win the match because of.
Yeah. One of the things we've been doing because, all of our jiu-jitsu classes are on hold right now. So like I have a jiu-jitsu academy in Stockton here, 10th Planet Stockton. What's up? But we do the we're doing a lot of Zoom sessions, you know what I mean? And one of the things we do is we've been just analyzing fights, just like watching jiu-jitsu matches, watching MMA fights. And when you start doing that regularly, and I purposely pick like some of the older jiu-jitsu matches from like the ones that they have footage of from the 70s and 80s and 90s, and then I'll put some modern jiu-jitsu with it, and like the style is so drastically different now than what it was then. It doesn't really look like combat now. It looks like something different, whereas the older ones, it looked like combat. It looked more like a fight.
Big time. And there are guys who are doing it, like Wagner Rocha, Lucas Lepre. There are guys who are still kind of have that combat-y style. That still implement the game, but you're seeing a lot of guys without that combat style now taking over. Except at the top, I think the guys over at Renzo Gracie's are doing a good job of still keeping it combat oriented.
Yeah, I think, and then another observation that, I've kind of come to from watching these matches online, and really focusing on them is that the format really drives kind of what the style of jiu-jitsu or grappling is that you're going to see. So what I mean by that is like when we're watching really, and this is not rocket science, right? When you're watching a point style tournament, it's very, very much sporty. It's like the sportiest of all the sporty stuff. And then as you get more towards like sub only and then combat jiu-jitsu, it gets closer to like fighting and more of like the old school jiu-jitsu style that you're talking about.
Well, except ADCC, I think that's kind of a lot more like wrestling match oriented.
Yeah.
You're not really allowed to pull guard. Points start halfway through. I mean, you can do it in the beginning, and a lot of the good, you'll see it. A lot of the sub only guys get knocked out in that, and you'll just see, a lot of good wrestlers being able to take over with just fundamentals and pointing too. Kind of an older style.
Yeah, and ADCC's kind of always been that way. You know, I feel like it's always kind of leaned a little towards the guys that have good wrestling experience. Even though there's been a lot of good pure jiu-jitsu guys have won, you see a lot of wrestlers do really well in ADCC.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and especially at the bigger guys, because you could get an All-American college wrestler D1 who's 205. He's going to be a monster.
Yeah, and he's going to be really hard to stop you from taking him down too.
Yeah, you give him 6 months of jiu-jitsu. You see these credible big guy athletes. You give them 6 months of jiu-jitsu, they pick it up like that. They're giving this instructor trouble.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, we have a perfect example of that in Nick Rodriguez, right? He doesn't have tons of jiu-jitsu behind him, but he has some decent college wrestling. And I don't even know, like, my college wrestling knowledge isn't very high. But I want to say that Rodriguez wasn't really a highly touted college wrestler either, right? He was just, decent.
I think he was a multiple-time All-American, so
that's pretty good.
Hard
then.
thing to do.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So, man, talk to me a little bit. Did you watch the last SUG, and then what were your thoughts on it? I'm curious.
I didn't catch it. I don't got Flow Grapple or the internet. Times are tough here at the Gallicchio Ranch. I got to do this just through the cell phone tower.
Dang, nice, man. Well,
I don't got Netflix or anything either.
Dang, dude, you're like you're on the grid, but you're not.
We got a pile of DVDs in my garage. My roommate's mom won a storage auction full of like an old Blockbuster Redbox.
That's what's keeping you guys entertained.
Movies from 2014 and before.
Wow. That's insane, dude. That's funny, though. I could see a crazy Tom, like, just with cabin fever from staying in the house all day watching Forrest Gump over and over and over,
I just saw The Mask. That was a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Underrated.
Totally, right? I mean, that's when Jim Carrey was really good.
Really good. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. My thoughts on SUG was, one, it's a little different, and I felt this way super watching WrestleMania this year. It's really odd without an audience or even a coach. Just like silent grappling is kind of weird. Like, it's different, and I think if you're really into jiu-jitsu and grappling, it's not bad because you understand what's going on and you don't really need that extra stuff, but it is a little quiet. It's like, wow, it's eerily quiet. And the other thing that kind of struck me was that not all the guys really seemed like they were super in shape and super on time, like with their timing. You could tell that the training's like not quite as consistent and as normal as it used to be, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So I've been training pretty much twice a day because we got our guy Sam Alvey fighting. So I have to step up and be his training partner through this whole thing. He's fighting. He's the first fight on the card next week.
Beautiful.
Or this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday. We're super excited. So yeah, I've been trying to get him. Me and him want to do that tag team match. Me and Sam will want to do on Submission Underground. But I was actually up. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm here. I just pulled something up to look at the fight card. You there, Tom?
And we also
yeah.
And we also actually we reached out to Carlos Condit, and he said he would be interested in doing a match in the Submission Underground.
Oh, nice, man. So, what's the deal then? You just need to get in touch with Chael or what?
I got to get the matchmaker.
Who's the matchmaker? I'm sorry.
My guy already did all the work. Heather.
Heather. Yeah.
Forget her last name. I haven't met her personally. I've met Chael tons of times. He's a great guy.
Yeah, no, Chael's outstanding. Chael's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, he's probably one of the coolest fighters I've ever met. Real down to earth, real good guy.
I just feel like he has a good head on his shoulders when you talk to him. Like, he gets what you're doing. Obviously, he's a promoter and he's pushing, but he's also a really hard worker and he delivers. He doesn't just like, talk a big game and then not have anything to back it up. Like Chael delivers. And I can't imagine, the pressure that he's probably under trying to keep SUG running and keep it out there. And then all this crazy shit happens and people are kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do. And I got mad respect for Chael. Like, he's going to do his second show already in this environment where most promotions just shut down. They're like, I don't know when we're coming back. He's on his second show, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I bet you it's not super stressful for him. I bet you he figures out those moves real quick and just makes it happen. Everybody probably knows him in his area, and he's probably just well endowed in the community, and he could go. He could make things happen.
Yeah, he's a good dude in that respect. So yeah, man. So tag team jiu-jitsu is interesting, right? It's a little different, It's a little tricky, right? There's not a lot of tag team jiu-jitsu matches to go back and reference, like if you're getting ready for one, But why tag team? What's so interesting to you about doing tag team jiu-jitsu?
Well, I got two good grapplers at my gym. I got Tarek Safadine, still in UFC, last Strikeforce champ. He's a phenomenal grappler, another welterweight. I said we would make a good tag team. And I got Big Smiling Sam, who loves wrestling and tag team, and he's just a perfect candidate. He's like, I want in. Let's get on it.
Nice. What's the how do you beyond just showing up and doing it? Like, how do you practice for tag team jiu-jitsu? Like, well, you gotta get another team to go against, right?
We actually did like a practice tournament at my gym.
Nice.
Sam and the rest of the pros. And then we ended up taking second.
Wait, you threw the tournament at your own gym and you took second?
Yeah, we should have won. Sam got in the corner and then they just jumped him.
They cheated. So basically, they cheated.
No, you get like 10 seconds to jump the person. Apparently,
that's insane. That's like. I like how combat jiu-jitsu tries to straddle the line between MMA and jiu-jitsu, but tag team jiu-jitsu straddles the line between pro wrestling and jiu-jitsu, which for me is a much funner line to straddle, right? Oh,
absolutely. I mean, it has every reason to be entertaining, and that's what's awesome about the show. It just, they're all about making a good show.
Yeah, man, I would love to see you and Sam Alvey as a tag team partner. I think that'd be fucking fascinating to watch, to be honest with you. How is his training camp going for UFC 249? He's taking on Ryan Spann, right, coming up on the prelims, and how's that going with his preparation? And how is it kind of like training in this kind of environment right now?
Well, this is his third camp. He was supposed to fight on one at the Apex, and he's been in camp for like 4 or 5 months because they keep pushing it back. He was originally supposed to fight Khalil Roundtree, I think like 5 months ago, and then 6 months ago, and then that got canceled or pushed. It got pushed, then it got canceled, then they offered him a fight with Ryan Spann, that got pushed, and now we're here. So, but it's been we're still running our pro practice, so we're still doing that. But at night, he goes and hits mitts, and then I have a group of grapplers in there to work with him.
Nice.
So that's kind of consistent training.
Yeah, and I imagine Sam's, this is not his first fight, so he knows, he kind of knows what the game is. He knows what he's getting into. It'd be kind of different if it was your very first fight, and you're like, I've never done this before, and you're kind of trying to get through it. But he's a pro, so I imagine he won't have any problems in terms of getting ready. This card in general, it's pretty damn stacked. Like just on the prelims, you have Jacare, Uriah Hall, the Karate Hottie, Fabricio, Cerrone, Pettis. These are prelim names, man. Like that never happens, right? That's not even the main card. How pumped are you for this event?
Oh man, it's finally here. It really is. It's good we have live sports again. And I guarantee it's going to sell out. I mean, they're so, what's the best part? All the matchups are close. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're all right there. They're all coin tosses.
What do you, the one I'm really interested on the prelim is Pettis and Cerrone. Like, these are two guys that are very good fighters. And, Pettis is, he's one of those guys where you're like, damn, dude, he shows flashes, and at times he's like super high level elite, and then sometimes he gets whooped, and you're like, what? And Cerrone's one of these dudes who you feel like can beat anybody on any given day, So these guys go out there. How do you see that match kind of breaking down?
That's such a coin flip too, because they both overperform and underperform.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, Cowboys probably got a little juice in them since losing to Connor, and probably like, oh, I got to make up for that performance. I mean, but Pettis has had some bad ones too, and not bad ones like where he had a poor performance, just wasn't his night. Yeah,
no, for sure, right, and that's a really good way to put it. Actually, when you think about Pettis and you think about Cerrone, they've both have overperformed and underperformed at times, where you're like, damn, like, when Pettis lost to, say, Nate Diaz, it wasn't a huge shock, or when he lost to Tony Ferguson, like he broke his hand or whatever. But his last loss against Diego Ferreira, I did not see that coming. Like, I'm going to be honest. I thought that Pettis was going to win that fight. I was really surprised he lost that fight. And I also thought Cerrone was going to be way more in the Conor McGregor fight, right? That looked like my older son whooping on his 13-year-old little brother, Oh,
yeah. You know what? Conor takes his time off. He doesn't take punishment. Like, he takes his punishment. He takes his 6 months off. Like, again, he's got everything at his disposal, too. There's not a coach that won't work with him. There's not a thing he can't buy to make him a better fighter. He's talented, too. But he's got now everything. Maybe at one time it wasn't, but now everything's in his favor.
Do you, I mean, this is like the Rocky story, right? The guy that he comes up and he's got nothing and he's training with crap and he's just like making it happen, and then he's super rich and he's wearing the fancy suits and he's like got the high-tech training center, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, how much of that helps you, right? And I'm sure at a certain level of it does, especially the access. Like, all the coaches want to work with you. Everybody wants to sponsor you. Like, the money thing kind of maybe isn't, you're not worried about, making money. You're more worried about who's taking your money. Like, how does the stress change when you get to that level? Because I see a lot of guys where it's like, man, it feels like they don't want to be champion anymore. They're like, fuck, this is a hard road to handle, man.
It's important to stay grounded, which is really hard to do. I can only imagine what a UFC champion has to do. But another thing is just keeping up with the social media presence. It's almost like that's a new part of the job, and I'm more of a private person, and that was something I lacked to do, and it ends up biting you in the ass at the end. But also, at the end of the day, you don't want to put all your business out there. So I can see how a lot of guys.
Right.
That's also that's something else, more stress. And some guys like it.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's better if you're a little dumb, in the sense that, like, you don't care about putting your business out there. You're like, I don't even care, because when you are kind of private, what happens is you put something out there, and then right before you fall asleep at night, all those thoughts are going through your head, and you're like, why did I say that? I should go delete that. Or what if this person sees that? Or wow, what was I thinking? Like, it's a little tricky, man. I could see where you would feel that way, kind of like, fuck, dude, like, you know, I want to make a living, but I also don't want my whole goddamn life on Instagram, you know?
Yeah, big time. You hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, I think, for guys to deal with, but it's the new reality, right? And we've seen, how many fights have we seen shape up over social media, where one guy tweets and another guy tweets, and then Dana White comes out and goes, absolutely not, these guys will not fight, and then everyone's like, we want them to fight, and then 4 weeks later it's like, they're fighting. Yeah, I feel like it's a game now, you know?
You know what? Like, I don't think Matt Fidel is too big on social media, and he was able to get really, really popular without it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big into it. You know, they're pretty like Twitter trash talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're the Asian cultures. The Asian culture is really nice.
Yeah, man. I definitely see where it could be a little bit of a struggle, or a little bit it's just a different approach. And it's weird with fighting because, you know, talking about being UFC champion, like, if you are the table tennis champion, like, that's cool. You're table tennis champion. You're the best, even, you know, if you're a great baseball player or whatever, but you're still playing a game. You're like, yeah, I could slam this basketball in this round cylinder, motherfucker. But then, you know, you could be like, I could beat your ass. I'm the champion at ass beating. It's hard to, like, how could you not have a gigantic ego when you're getting paid a shitload of money? You're the #1 ass beater in the world. They put people in a cage and they lock it and you kick the fuck out of them. You know, then everybody celebrates you when you go party. Like, that, how do you stay grounded? That's goddamn impossible, man. That is a recipe for a dude with testosterone pulsing through his body to fuck up, right? I mean, it's no wonder.
It's that Henry Cejudo, man. He's got all that. He's a strange cat when you see all his poses or whatever he says. But he's an Olympic gold medalist. He holds 2 belts. You know, he beat TJ and Mighty Mouse. So actually, he does. You know what's funny? He does stay grounded too. Because when you see him out, you'll see him with his old friends.
Yeah, yeah.
But because he's going to get a tiger one of these days.
You have to. You have to have a tiger. That's the move. Mike Tyson was on that game a long time ago.
Henry Cejudo is probably going to have to get a cheetah. A tiger might be out of the weight class.
Might be too big. Yeah, he just get a really big cat, a fox. He'll get a fox. What do you think about his matchup with Dominic Cruz? I mean, some people are kind of critical of the fact that Cruz is even getting a title shot right now.
Yeah, I give Cruz the title shot. That's a great matchup. It's going to be, I think Cruz gives him the most trouble out of anybody you saw.
What do you think about the speed factor, though? I feel like the one thing that's hurt Cruz is he slowed down a little bit, and you see this especially at the lighter weights. It's so speed driven that if you just lose like a half a step, you're like, the heavyweights, they're always slow, you know, like, but the little guys, man, if you just fall a half a pace behind, like, Cejudo's going to be all over your ass and the fight's going to be over. Like, how does Dominic, you know, get that back or change his timing up to where he's not, you know, chasing Cejudo, or in the sense of where he's always behind every exchange?
Well, that's a good point. Especially about Dean Thomas told me an interesting thing. He said 155 on down. He said that's more of a speed thing. He says, you know, they retire a little bit early, around 35. That's kind of, you hit your peak around then, and then that's it. He said 170 and up, and as you get heavier, the later you, because speed's not as a factor. But that being said, Dominic Cruz got one thing that's really going for him besides his awesome footwork. That would be 2 things: awesome footwork, and he's got a reach. He's got a big reach, and he's a better striker.
Interesting.
So he might be able to use those angles and stay on the outside and frustrate Cejudo, because he's got a reach, and Cejudo's fight, I guarantee the reach difference between Cruz and Mighty Mouse is huge.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that point. Like Mighty Mouse is, I'm not an expert, but Cejudo was almost like a better version. You know what I mean? Like, at least on the wrestling side of it, I felt like Mighty Mouse is obviously a really great fighter, but on the wrestling side of it, Cejudo always, it's like when you're in an argument with your wife and she's always got the last word and it's always better than what your last word was. That's how Cejudo was. You know, it's like you put your exchange out and then he puts his and then he follows up with one last thing and you're like, God damn, man. Like, he's always getting the last word in these exchanges. He's just that type of a fighter. And I think his wrestling pedigree and experience kind of affords him that. Like, people kind of forget, like, this guy's a gold medal Olympic wrestling champion. You know, like
he's not only the best at fighting, he's the best at wrestling.
Right. Like, people kind of forget that. They just see Cejudo, and I think sometimes the bantamweight, those guys get written off. There's a lot of, redneck dudes driving 4x4s that are like, I could whoop that guy's ass. You know what I mean? So they don't really give him the credit that he deserves.
We definitely missed out on an amazing press conference, man. Cejudo and Cruz, like, trash talk would have been would have been entertaining.
Yeah, that would have, because Cruz likes to get down and mix it up, right? He likes to talk trash, so that would have been good. And Cejudo's just crazy, essentially. You know?
He's always failing. It's great, but he keeps going.
What are your thoughts on Ferguson and Gaethje? Like, how do you see this? I know we kind of joked around about how unlucky Ferguson is, but how do you see this fight going down?
I think he takes it in the third or the fourth, because they both it probably won't go to a decision. Now that I said it, it's going to go to a decision. but because they're both come forward fighters, and that's hard to keep for 25 minutes.
Yeah,
it really is.
For sure.
So they're going to be stupider. One or both of them are going to be a lot stupider after this fight.
Yeah, and the thing about Ferguson poses odd problems for people because he's just really unorthodox and hard to prepare for. I think he's very hard to predict. Like, some of the shit he does, you feel like he's doing things that he doesn't even practice. You know, he's like, I'm going to forward roll out of this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to, like, throw some weird Michael Jackson breakdance kick punch. Like, you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, but it's just enough. It's just unorthodox enough that it's effective for him. However, Tony does have a tendency to get clipped and eat punches and kind of get wobbly and, like, get bloodied up. And I don't know if I want Justin clipping me on the chin. Like, can Tony take that? Because you can only take those shots until you can't anymore, but you don't know when that last one is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so far, Tony's been okay, right? He hasn't been totally, like, demolished, but damn, man, Gaethje can put your lights out.
Yeah, and he proved it with the World Series. Talk about him getting signed to the UFC, and then the World Series starts giving $1 million away.
Oh, right. right. Lucky him.
All right, have fun.
Dana's like, you get 12 to show, 12 to win.
Reebok's gonna give you $3.
You're gonna get the super cool white and green Reebok kit. You get we'll kit you out and your team, man.
It's your whole name. Your whole thing. It's a great fight on that card. Qatar Stevens, Jeremy Stevens.
Interesting. I don't know much about Qatar. What's your take on this fight?
I know about Qatar before. I'm originally from Jersey. He's a Massachusetts guy. I had one of my training partners fought him like 2007, 2008, something like that. And his girlfriend at the time, I don't know if he's still with her or anything, Qatar's girlfriend went up to my buddy and she said, Calvin's going to knock you out, and pointed in his face. And then we end up fighting. He knocked him out in the first round.
Oh, damn, that sucks, huh?
He's like, you're a liar. Fucking liar. And she didn't lie.
Damn. Stevens is no joke, though, right? Stevens is
They're both great strikers.
very difficult guy to fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a good. That has potential to be fighted tonight.
No, that sure does, and you know, given that there's going to be so many eyes on this match, the whole card, I could see these guys, you know, going into it with a little extra, you know, really wanting to show up. And the last thing you want to do is be the snooze fest fight on the card, you know, like hug your partner for 3 rounds. And then, you know, like nobody wants to be that fight on this card. Everybody's looking to really put on a great show. So I think, you know, from a spectator's point of view, this is like one of those good things come to those who wait. We've been just kind of like, okay, we don't have any fights. Like we're jonesing for it, you know? So I think this is going to be a win-win for the fighters and the fans.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I guarantee all the grapplers are going to be tuning into.
And where's this? This is going on in Florida, right?
Yeah, because I think WWE broke the mold. They broke through that glass ceiling.
Fuck yeah, I love Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, dude, he's such a stud.
I think they're doing it in his place.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's actually awesome.
Buddies.
Is there no live gate then? There's not going to be a live gate at this event?
They probably don't. That's probably only like peanuts to them.
Yeah, interesting, dude. Very interesting. Because I did see where Arkansas opened up for live events, and I was talking to my wife, and I said, you know, it's kind of funny because you're like, oh yeah, Arkansas, but if you're a performer, you know, and you don't have anywhere to perform, but you can perform in Arkansas, well, you're probably going to be in Little Rock pretty soon, you know, like Arkansas is going to get some dope ass concerts coming up pretty soon, I would bet, right? Pack that place out.
Yeah. Arkansas is cool too. Little Rock's cool, so you know, they're cities. And the people are there, and they have money.
Yeah, hell yeah, and there's nothing to do. And so finally a big show's coming to town. Like, you're going to go watch that, man.
Probably that and good comedians, too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's for sure. It's kind of funny, though. I mean, changing the topic a little bit, but watching comedians right now or watching shows without live audiences, you kind of see like where the talent is and where the talent isn't. Like, wow, this guy sucks without a live audience, right? Like there's a little bit of that going on. Same way I felt watching WrestleMania without a live audience. Like some of the wrestlers are like, dude, this guy's garbage, man. Like without a crowd to like interact with and hoop up, like this guy's not that fun to watch. But other folks you see like, damn, man, there's some talented performers out there. Like they don't need a crowd. They're pretty damn good without an audience.
Yeah, I've actually been doing the virtual comedy shows out here with my buddy Adam Hunter. He always puts me on.
Oh, nice. From MMA Roasted. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've done stand-up before. It's like, that's my favorite thing in the world is stand-up. Yeah. Like, I do it for, you know, a hobby. So it's like, I'll never tell like MMA jokes or anything. But I have a good time doing it, and I'm not too bad.
How long ago did you get into stand-up? How long have you been doing it?
I did my first open mic night. I think I was 17 or 18.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Bombed. And then I got back into it about 23, 24. Started having a little success and on and off. And then they made me perform to get on The Ultimate Fighter. They said, do your set.
Are you serious? You had to do a comedy set?
Yeah, you get like 5 minutes. So they gave me 3 minutes. So I just did like my best 3 jokes.
Tight 3 minutes. You got a tight 3 minute set lined up. That's outstanding. What would you say? Like, are there any similarities between a fight and a comedy show? Like, as a performer,
if you bomb, you hate yourself. If you lose, you hate yourself. That still doesn't qualify because if you care about something, it doesn't matter. You want to do good at it.
I mean, are you more setting aside like the physical pain? Because obviously losing a fight hurts physically, but like let's just talk about like the mental side of it. Does it hurt worse to bomb or does it hurt worse to like lose a fight?
Well, lose a fight because there's no record of how many times you bomb.
That's what they need, Tom. That's brilliant. We need to see comedians' records, dude. I need to know, this guy's 42-3, or is he 15-16? Because if he's 15-16, I don't know if I'm going to watch his ass.
Yeah. Maybe he's just ready to turn the corner.
That would be awesome, man. I'm an undefeated comedian. I'm 34-0. I mean, what do you consider a couple of splits? What do you consider a bomb when you're doing a show? Like, how do you judge yourself? Like, oh man, I bombed. And then at what point during the set do you start thinking like, I think I'm bombing? Like, when does that come into mind?
You pretty much know. You gotta hit them hard, fast. You gotta get them sucked in right away. You could usually tell within the first minute if you're bombing or not. And that bombing is like nobody's laughing. It's just like you're saying your jokes, and then just no reaction.
It's they're just not having it.
Oh, they're not having it. And once you lost them, once they're against you, it's hard to get them back.
Have you ever had an experience where the bomb like turned? You know what I mean? And like, they got back on your side?
No.
So what do? You just go with it when you're bombing? You're like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna lay it on now. Like,
so like, I'll just kind of power through the rest of the material and hope you don't fuck it up.
It's like, is it the equivalent to when you're in a fight and you know you're losing and you're like, okay, I just don't want to get tapped now. Like, I'm just gonna finish the match. I'm not gonna get tapped.
It'd be like you're in a fight and you can feel your timing off. Because timing's everything with fighting and comedy.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's a terrible feeling, too. That's a terrible feeling when you're like, dude, none of my shit is on, dude. It sucks.
Yeah. Definitely hurts. It definitely sucks more in a fight. That makes it hurt you a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, the ramifications, the consequences for losing a fight are much higher than for losing a comedy show. Like, I guess if you lose a comedy show, right, for bombing in a comedy show,
you just hate yourself for a night. You get over that. So
what do you think, is the future for all of this stuff? Like, are we going to see, you think we're going to start seeing more consistent MMA events, or do you feel like, it might be a little touch and go? Like, kind of, how do you perceive things moving forward?
You know what? I think everything's going to get back to normal, and we're going to find something else to blow out of proportion. We always do.
Yeah, I mean, humans, we need something. It just, I guess, I felt like nobody saw this coming, at least not at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you would have told me 6 months ago, like, hey, Tim, you're going to have to close your jiu-jitsu academy down because some dude is going to be in a wet market in China or not. We don't know, because there's also a super high-level, top-secret laboratory in the same fucking city, right? That this virus is going to come out, and it may be from a bat or it may be from a lab. We don't know, right? And it's going to force you to close your gym down in Stockton, fucking California. Are you kidding me? I would have laughed in your face.
That is some bullshit. We had 79 cases down here. Nobody died in a city of over 100,000. I think we had it earlier because we all got viciously sick in December.
Oh man. Okay. Thank you. Like, I even made this statement in my gym. There were so many sick people in December. I said, I think the government is getting us all sick, man. This doesn't make, it's just joking around. Like, I think the government's getting us all sick, because we were out. Like, everybody was sick. And I mean, sick. People were like, it's the sickest I've ever been in my life. And that level of sick, Fuck.
And I have been sick since, so I like turned into a superhuman.
Me too. Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. I'm healthy as fuck now. That's insane, man. No, I specifically remember because over the winter kind of holiday between Christmas and New Year's, we went down to Southern California, and I had all this training planned out. Like, I'm going to train it Gio Martinez, and I'm going to go to Boogie's Academy, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and blah, 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 blah. I got sick the first day, and I was sick the whole time I was on vacation, dude, like sick, not doing anything sick, you know. I was like, damn, man, something was definitely going around. Are you guys locked down where you're at? Are you guys in quarantine, or you're not? Like, what's kind of the standard there?
Well, everybody's just defying opening up. We opened our gym. Only Dan said this week we got to do something called no contact jiu-jitsu. Like if jiu-jitsu wasn't gay enough already.
No contact. It's like, oh, you mean Tai Chi? Like,
yeah. So you're doing it wrong.
Wow. Yeah, it's trippy, man. I mean, it's kind of the same out here, although I would say in California, there's a greater group of people that are politically motivated for this to be bad. Like they want it to be bad because they feel like that's going to help their political cause, which I think is like the lowest level of human, in my opinion. Like the kind of, and I don't mean that from a political standpoint at all. I don't give a shit. Like, let's just take politics out of it. For you to want something to be bad that will fuck people's lives up, like could kill people, the virus itself, or could ruin people, lose their homes, their jobs, can't feed their families, just so your guy could win some bullshit political thing it's insane to me. And in my opinion, those are the worst kinds of people in the world. Like I hate people like that. That's ridiculous, but unfortunately there's a lot of those folks running around in California, lots of them.
I think we're going to see a shift in California because of this. I really do. I think we're going to see a shift. I think because these political leaders are abusing their power.
Yeah.
And we don't have the same numbers as New York or New Jersey, so they don't so they could abuse their power over there and kind of get away with it, but they're getting pissed off over here. Here, everybody's pissed off, and there's no way Newsom's going to get reelected unless he cheats.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Californians are weird. Like, it's a weird group of people. California, I think, has a lot of silent folks that don't really get too involved in stuff, and most of the people that are like really loud and all the time are usually for one political party. I'm not going to mention any names, but I mean, that's just how let's just say, I'm just telling the fucking truth. Like, if you most people, you don't got to be a rocket scientist to know this. Like, they call it the left coast for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they call California the left coast, but whatever. I don't care. But there's a lot of folks like myself who generally don't say anything about anything and are going about our business and, you know, running our business or working our jobs and feeding our family, who have become very vocal and active and motivated because, you know, this is some fucking madness, in my opinion. You know, like you can't go to day 50 of a 14-day quarantine and expect businesses that are closed down to just keep taking it on the chin. Like, you can't, that's not even realistic. And you can say, like, the gut reaction that I hear from people is like, the government's got a lot of money, they're helping people, the SBA and the payroll protection. Dude, that ain't shit. Yo, I applied for all of it. It's nothing, man. It ain't helping. It's jack diddle, dude. Like, it's not gonna save anything. So okay, I'm done with my rant.
Put us back to work. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, a lot of gyms are just opening up. Like, you know, we had Tanner Rice on last weekend. They're just fucking opening up, man. And the people are going to the gyms and training. They're not staying home, and that's where the answer is. If your community is saying, no, this is what we're going to do, fucking do it.
Which is great. I mean, this shows that people are starting to stand up to the government a little bit, and it sucks that they could do all this bullshit against our basic rights and against the Constitution.
Yeah, you can't talk like that. If you talk like that now, you're like, oh, you're crazy. You're one of those crazy guys who talks about the Constitution. It's like,
I read it. I made sure I read it before I spoke about it. I think everybody should. And I think everybody who wants to talk about politics should at least read the Constitution, because that's where it starts.
That's kind of the kernel that the whole system's built on.
Yeah.
And to not have a basic understanding of the main points of it, as a citizen, like, you're ignorant then. You know what I mean? So now you're just arguing or talking out of ignorance instead of at least a slightly educated opinion, you know?
Yeah, it's just, you got to read that thing. And I guarantee so many people haven't.
Yeah, no, that's for sure, man. Well, I'm glad you're doing well, dude. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I always love your take, and I gotta tell you, the last combat jiu-jitsu, I had my bet was on Tom Gallicchio. I'm like, you watch, this fucker's gonna win this goddamn thing. He's a crazy fucking monster, dude. Watch. And your matches were super entertaining, man. It was fun to watch, and I'm always a fan of yours, dude. I feel like you're a genuine dude. The first time I saw you was on The Ultimate Fighter. You know, I was like, who's this guy right here? And you just seem like an honest, real dude, and we're just lacking a lot of those, man. So I really appreciate the approach that you bring to the table. It's a real pleasure to watch you, man.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on, man. I appreciate those kind words. And hopefully we can get that match with Carlos Condit. He said he's down. Heather from Submission Underground, you just got to okay it. My guy did all the matchmaking.
Dude, I am going to get on the horn with Heather. I'm going to put some pressure on her. I'm going to send a text to Chael, although Chael never responds to me anymore, but I'm going to do it anyway, motherfucker.
Chael likes me a lot. Chael always gives me compliments whenever he sees me. Send it to Chael.
I'll send it to Chael. Get him on. For sure. We'll start a grassroots campaign. Free Tom Gallicchio. He needs to work, motherfucker. He only has movies from 2014, all right? We got to at least get this guy a Netflix account, the bare minimum. Hulu, something. All right, brother. You have a good one, man. Thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right, bro.
Take care, dude.
Thanks, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Gallicchio. Thanks, brother. I dig that dude. I do. He's a real OG. So, yeah, man. Crazy. What's good? I think I told the story of my Prius getting someone trying to steal the tire off the Prius. That was pretty awesome. And the crazy thing now is that I'm on high alert, like 24/7. I'm on high alert. I am constantly looking outside. Every little sound I was already on the paranoid kind of side of the house, you know, but now I'm on like extra paranoid side of the house. So I'm literally got my window open. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I'm arming myself. I'm ready. I'm waiting. No, I'm just, just kind of like, I'm just on alert. And the other night, of course, my wife and my son said they heard something in the backyard. And here's the thing. I was a kid once. I remember going like, Dad, I heard something. And then my dad would have to like go outside and look. And as a kid, I would be like, whoa, my dad's so brave. He's going out in the yard and it's dark and I heard a noise out there. And now it's like, it's my turn to be dad, It's like, oh, I heard something. And it's one thing when like your kid hears it. Sometimes you can blow it off. Like, you go back to sleep. There's nobody out there. Shut up. But when your kid and your wife come to you from separate rooms and go, did you hear that? What was that noise? That was weird. You're like, shit, man. It's just not the kid. Like, I could like bully the kid around. I could tell the kid, like, be quiet. But I don't want to look like a pussy in front of the wife. Like, God darn it. Now I got to actually go address this mystery noise in my backyard. Put my gi on. No, so I, got something. Not going to say what. And I went back there. And, there was nothing back there. It was all emptied out. Totally clean and clear. And I just thought, what if there was someone back there? Like, What do you do then? You just blast them. You blast a dude in California, you're going to be in trouble, right? What do you do? I don't know. It's crazy times, though, especially in Stockton, man. Town's getting nuts. People, I'll tell you what'll scare the shit out of you. Get a Ring doorbell, and then you get into that, like, My Neighborhood program or whatever it's called, and people share their Ring camera events from, like, people coming. There's so many fucking Walking Dead crazy motherfuckers who are, like, going up to people's houses, trying to get in. This one lady stole a prayer flag off of somebody's lawn. She was on a little bike. She pedaled her little ass up there, stopped her bike, kind of circled back. She passed it and did one of those moves where she passed it, and she's like, oh, that looked like a prayer flag. And then she circled back. She kind of looked left, looked right, got off her little bike, had a banana seat on it. It was like, dude, you have an old lady bike. You're literally stealing on an old lady bike. And she stole a prayer flag. It was like a flag, it's like a call to prayer. She stole it. That's like stealing a Bible. Like, what are you doing? Have you no couth? When does the world become so vulgar and crass that they would steal a prayer flag? Stealing from the Lord. How dare you? That's the Lord's flag. See, what are you thinking? So anyway, that was stolen. And then the other thing is, I should get on there and just show these. I don't know if people get pissed though. It's like a private group. The other thing was, some of the fuckers going around stealing dudes' work boots off their front porch. Just like 3 work boots were stolen off of different front porches in Stockton. And I don't know, is there like an aftermarket for work boots? Like, I know they could be expensive. Like, some work boots are really expensive. Maybe a couple $100, right? And that's, people don't care because their jobs usually give them a little stipend or allowance for that kind of stuff. And some fucking dude is like, he's stealing them. He's ganking them. He's taking work boots. He's like trying them on. I don't know if these are my size. Ugh. He's walking around and I'm in the front yard, like stamping his feet, trying to make sure they have a good fit. Like, I don't know if this is real. This is man-made leather. I'm not going to take this. Like, I don't know. What do you think, man? How's the sole on this? Does this look good on me? His homies are out there. They're holding up. He's got Morris Day holding up a mirror for him. How's this look, man? Jerome, get the mirror. Jerome, get the mirror. Purple Rain reference, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Usually I go, Jerome, fetch my jiu-jitsu boots. It's time to grapple. I can't wait to get back to grappling. And I want you guys to know this, that all of your favorite grappling stars never stopped training. They are all secret training. Every last one of them, Keenan Cornelius, they're all training. You know that. You know they are. These guys are addicted to jiu-jitsu. They're consumed with it. It's their life. It's everything. For one moment, you think that one of those guys is not going to train and then they're going to see some little clip of Gordon Ryan training. They're going to train. They're all training. Everybody's training. Somebody asked, they said, when do you think that, what do you think is going to happen when schools open back up with social distancing measures? And Stephen Kessling did some article with Chris Moriarty, who's a doctor. And, I have respect for Chris. I remember Chris Moriarty from back in the day in the jiu-jitsu world. And I like Stephen too. Don't get me wrong. Like, I really enjoy the content that he puts out, and I think he puts out a lot of good things, especially when it comes to teaching jiu-jitsu. And I know they're trying to be helpful. I don't think they're coming from a place of not trying to be helpful. I just think they're so fucking unrealistic that they don't realize how unrealistic they are. So they put out these measures, these social distancing measures, and there's like these phases. Well, you can come into the gym, but everyone's got to have like 36 feet of clearance, and there has to be like designated places where you could walk and pathways like you're on some kind of track. I'm only allowed to walk straight. I can't walk to the left or right. I don't want to spread germs. And then eventually you could have an instructor lead the class. And then eventually you could do this. And then eventually you could do that. And then finally you can have a single training partner to play grab ass with. And then finally, 73 years from now, we think it'll be okay to finally have a full grappling match with somebody. That's just about what it feels like. And this is what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, all the schools are going to do that. Until the first school in town starts letting their students roll. And then all the other students at the other schools go, dude, we're not even training. We're fucking doing Tai Chi. And those guys are getting busy. Guess what? Everybody's rolling after that point. Boom. And all the Reddit jiu-jitsu players that just started jiu-jitsu in 2017, you're all going to really fucking hate it. You're going to either quit or you're going to bitch and cry and go to I'm going to go upstairs to my mommy and tell her what's happening. Mommy, did you know Gordon Ryan's training right now? It's really upsetting. He could kill Grandma. It's so fucking dumb. It's dumb. And it's stupid, and no one's going to abide by it. Duh. People are already not abiding by it. So what makes you think that they're going to do it? They're not. When people walk into a grocery store, see X's on the ground and stuff, they're like, this is fucking dumb. They're looking around each other like, dude, get the fuck out of here. I'm just being real. Look, you might not agree with me, but I'm just telling you reality. You might be one of the few that are all into it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is like beautiful time for Dungeons and Dragon dorks and self-appointed intellectuals. Every fucking junior scientist in the goddamn world is out right now, extrapolating data, explaining statistics. I'm going to talk about my analysis. I've built my own graphs. Nobody fucking wants to see your graphs. We don't even want to see the CDC graphs because they're fucked up too. What makes you think you're going to build another fucking better graph with your Google Sheets document? I've been collecting data. Get out of here, man. You're just playing fantasy world. All these Dungeons and Dragon nerds, all these fuckers who want to play dress up, all these people they have no fucking life outside of this shit. This is like the best thing that ever happened to them. I'm a frontline worker. No, you're not. You're a bag boy. Okay? I appreciate that you're working, but here's the truth. If you weren't bagging groceries, somebody else could bag them fairly quickly. In fact, I could bag my own. And I don't mean that. Look, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, like, come on. Come on. Sir, I'm going to need you to stand over there. Sir, I'm going to need you to step back behind the glass. Sir, I'm going to need you to go over there. It's like, dude, you're not even a mall cop. You don't even have mall cop status. You are this is what you are. You are the boss of the conveyor belt on the grocery store line. Okay? That's what you have. You have jurisdiction over that. Okay? And I know it's weird and maybe like it doesn't satisfy your evil, fantasy to be Skeletor and be the boss of the world, but this is where it is. This is what it is. And nobody wants to fucking listen to you. Okay? Nobody wants to listen to anybody, not even the authorities, because the authorities can't get their shit together either. So people are going to do what they want. They're already doing it. They've already done it. Oh, wake up. Wake up. So what does that mean? It means that if COVID-19 was running rampant in the community, then a lot of people would voluntarily, and we all did in the beginning. You know what we did? We went the fuck inside, and we stayed inside. That's what we did. That's what you asked us to do, and that's what we did. We went inside, and we stayed inside. And you told us it's going to get fucking bad, and it's going to get fucking scary, and there's going to be a lot of fucking dead bodies. All right? There's going to be so many dead people, we're not going to have a place to put them. We need ventilators and masks and medical equipment, and holy shit, this is the fucking bat flu apocalypse. And so we're like, God damn, this sounds crazy, but everyone's doing it. Look at Italy. That's what everybody said. So we all hightailed it inside. And we've been inside. And we're sitting around inside. And then finally, someone's like, dude, fuck, man. I'm out of milk. Like, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Oh, shit. And you go to the grocery store. Everyone's all, like, freaked out. You okay? You okay? Yeah, man. Courteous, blah, blah, blah. Then after a while, it's like, everyone's going to the grocery store. Everyone's going to Lowe's. Everyone's going to Target. Everyone's going wherever the fuck they want that's open because that's all they're just going to go. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go. I guarantee you, if it was way worse, was what everyone said it was going to be, we'd all be inside gladly. I will stay home. Thank you very much. All of us would do it. But instead, it turned into, let's sing Imagine on YouTube with all of our Hollywood friends, and let's see if we can go viral with it. Maybe we can get some likes and make people feel good. Oh, wow, great idea. Oh, together at home. The fuck out of here with that nonsense. The best thing is that this has exposed the Hollywood no talents for what they really are. You see some of these fuckers without audiences, boo. If they don't have an audience on their side, boring, snooze fest, crickets, chirp, 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 chirp. Nobody wants to hear it. So I guess that's been beneficial, right? I do enjoy some of the Netflix comedy specials and stuff. I thought, I'm not a big Seinfeld fan. Like, I like the show Seinfeld a lot. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, like Jerry Seinfeld comedian, not too big of a fan. I think Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld are like really, really funny dudes. And I like comedians in cars getting coffee because it's just Jerry Seinfeld like off script. And he's pretty damn funny and he's pretty damn cynical. And I really like that. Having said that, his latest special, 23 Hours to Kill, is really, really good. I thought it was a goddamn masterpiece. Like, I felt like he was on his game. I felt like he was relevant. He was on point. He was nailing people, man. Nailing them without even realizing or knowing, like, he's nailing. He's killing them softly. He did a really nice job. And I would watch that again. It's not Dave Chappelle. It's a different style, but a master at his style. That dude's, Jerry Seinfeld's 65 years old now. 65! I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting old. Like, I didn't feel bad because he was old. I felt bad because I'm getting old. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow. Then I remember this is like when my dad would be watching some, the Academy Awards from 1982. And he's like, there's Jerry Lewis. I'm like, who's that old guy? It's like, he was only 40. You know what I mean? It's pretty insane. It's insane. I don't want to be grumpy and crotchety and mean. Like, that's not who I'm trying to be. The world has made me this way. You guys have forced my hand. I was a nice person. I was kind. I went to church. I helped people. And now I'm fucking cantankerous, man. I want to argue. I want to fight. I'm like Skeletor. You guys have actually turned me into Skeletor. I hope you're happy. Okay, this is how villains are made. I hope you're happy. You see what you've done to me. Well, now you're going to learn. Because I like fighting, and I think fighting's fun. Nah, man, I don't know, man. Good on Tanner Rice. I've been in contact with him. He's doing well. Rise up, Tanner Rice, Tanner the Ginger. Nobody ever would have thought that Tanner the Ginger would be the fucking guy to save jiu-jitsu. God damn, I'm proud of him. That is so rad. This is a guy who came on the podcast, and my co-host, Ernest Mello, asked him, dude, Tanner, I have a question for you. Yeah? Dude, are you gay? That was the question that he asked Tanner. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? It was really good. You got to go back and find that episode. It's way in the archives, which you can. If you have a premium subscription, you can go back and listen to like the back catalog. I think it's like I think the latest 50 shows are free, and then beyond that, you got to pay $1.99 a month to access the rest. But they're really good. And look, man, I do this shit for free. I'm not advertising all kinds of stupid shit to you all the time. Like, I'm literally like doing this for free. So pony up. All right, punk asses. It's time to pay the man. I need my money. I need my biotech money. I got to get my money. I got to get mine. I need my Suge Knight cut. You need to dip into your wallets and give me $1.99 a month, motherfucker. I'm trying to strong arm you over the internet. Do it. Pretty soon I'll be pleading, please, give me $1.90. I like what the televangelists do. They take the opposite route. They basically say the Lord's going to take them if you don't give them money. The Lord told me, unless I could raise $2 million to get another plane, I need a bigger plane so I can reach God's people. The plane that I'm on right now, I can't fly everywhere I want. I have to stop and get gas. You know it interrupts the blowjob that I'm getting when I gotta get gas. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I need a bigger plane. I could go point A to point B, save more lives. And if you don't give me the money, God's gonna take me. Okay, well, I'll tell you what's gonna happen. If you don't give me money, my wife's going to shut this shit down. No, I'm just kidding. She's a big supporter. Big fan of me going into the den once or twice a week and talking into a microphone to a non-existent audience for 3 to 4 hours a week. She loves it. She loves it. She loves that I spend money on equipment and buy things and get all frustrated trying to make them work. She loves it that people send mean messages and go, this guy said this and they said that, and I'll have you know. Did you know? Did you know this? Did you know he talks on the computer and he says all kinds of crazy stuff? Did you know that? Do you ever listen to what your husband says? I don't know. I'm losing my fucking mind. I need to train. I wish like Joey Diaz would hurry up and run for president. I don't think he can. I think he's a felon. It's funnier. Eddie Bravo, somebody, Joe Rogan, somebody run for president, not Keenan Cornelius. Have you guys seen his ads? This fucker's really milking it. I got to go hats off to you, Keenan. First I was irritated at you because I'm like, you're like shaming people for not closing, which I thought was lame and hurtful to the jiu-jitsu community and doesn't really help. But Keenan gonna Keenan, you know. And then I realized, like, man, this guy's master. Then he's advertising. He's got the ad with the guy's head down. I miss jiu-jitsu so much. I don't even know if I should be spending my money on food and supplies, or should I be getting DVDs of the lapel guard? But I miss jiu-jitsu so much. Keenan's like, that's why I've slashed prices. It was $199, but I learned from Master Lloyd's super marketing program, if I say it was way more expensive and I only have a limited supply, even though it's digital and I could create as much as I want, I'm going to give you a $79 discount. It's $111. Now, I know y'all got your stimulus checks. That's why I timed my advertising campaign to hit right when y'all going to get them. He's got a new one out. Same kind of stuff. You're a master. Hats off to you. I actually don't knock anybody for trying to make a buck. I knock people who try to stop people from making a buck. You know, as long as you're not being, like, unethical or really hurting people, like, you know, this is the game, man. This is America. All right, there's a reason why this country's the country. Not because we're so special, but because some dudes got together and put some dope fucking ideas down on paper, and they agreed to them. And those ideas are so fucking good, and they work so goddamn well that we've been super blessed and the beneficiaries of all those great ideas. And now we want to go and fuck them up. Stupid, right? So I'm saying, look, man, you do you, and I'll do me. How about that? That's called live and let die, motherfucker. You wear your mask, and I'll wear one if I feel like it, and if I don't, I won't. And I won't get in your face over it. And you stay out of mine, because I'm angry. Okay, guys, I think I've totally lost my mind on the show here. I apologize for that. If If you don't like it, I don't really care. Leave me a negative review. They're my favorite kind. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. You know, Inside BJJ is super, super, super important to me. I've been doing this show for 8 years now. When I started, it was Inside BJJ podcast and open mat podcast with Paul. God bless you, Paul. We lost Paul earlier this year, and Paul was a really, really good dude. And I know we're all going to miss Paul. I'm certain that we already do miss Paul, you know, and that was a really big loss. And Raph over at MMA Verbal Tap Garbage podcast, we were kind of like the first 3 that really hit it. The Fight Works was before all of us. That's Caleb. He's the OG. Caleb got disenchanted, in my opinion, early on and realized, like, Caleb was getting out of the podcast game. Like, he was winding it super, super down by the time Meta Morris was here. Like, the first Meta Morris, I chatted with him, and he was already, like, repping this shit up. So, you know, we've been carrying the ball. Yeah, there's a lot of new ones. There's a lot of popular ones. There's a lot of shows out there. A lot of people saying shit. But, you know, we were the ones carrying this shit, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it feels good. And it's important to me. I've been doing it for a long time, and I like to talk in my den on my mic. So don't go anywhere. Keep listening. Keep training. Do your secret training or not, but you should secret train, especially if you're in an area that has very low cases. Secret train. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody's even paying attention. You suck at jiu-jitsu anyway. And all you guys on Reddit, you suck even worse. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm just playing with all you guys. This is all jokes. Don't be offended by me. Keenan, I'm just messing around. You don't even listen anyway. Reddit Jiu-Jitsu guys, you're all welcome at my academy when we open back up. For real, I love Jiu-Jitsu. I love all you guys, even the ones that are dumber than me and don't agree with me. And you're wrong, but that's okay. I still love you guys, all right? This has been the Inside BJJ podcast. Oh, no, wait. There we go. I'll see you guys real soon. Give us a listen on iTunes. Give us a review. Give us a rating or not. I don't really care. It's not going to change anything. But you should. All right, I'm out.